All right, chapter 6. This was the other chapter that I somehow missed. Do not know how. Threatened siege of Jerusalem. Run for cover. Out of Jerusalem, Benjaminites. Sound the ram's horn in Tekoa. Raise a smoke signal over Beth Hakaram, which is House of the Vineyard. For disaster threatens from the north, even a crushing blow. Though she is beautiful and delicate, I will destroy or crush daughter Zion. So though she is beautiful and delicate, that will not save her. Shepherds and their flocks will come against her. They will pitch their tents all around her. So encamp around her, there's nowhere to go. Each will pasture his own portion. Set them apart for war against her. Rise up, let's attack at noon. Woe to us, for the day is passing. So the day is going quickly, the evening shadows grow long, the nights are longer. Rise up, let's attack by night. Of course, when they're all asleep, a sneak attack. Let's destroy her fortresses. For this is what the Lord of armies says. Cut down the trees. The trees provide shade, a place to hide, or food. This city must be punished. There is nothing but oppression within her. As a well gushes out its water, so she pours out her evil. Or will keep its water fresh, so she keeps her evil fresh. No. Bars. Violence and destruction resound in her. Sickness and wounds keep coming to my attention. Be warned, Jerusalem, or I will turn away from you. I will make you a desolation, a land without inhabitants. So he was giving them a fair warning. Like, hey, I'm telling you now, this is what's going to happen. Take with that what you will. Wrath on Israel. This is what the Lord of armies says. Glean the remnant of Israel, or what's left of them, gather them, as thoroughly as a vine. Pass your hand once more like a grape gatherer over the branches, to make sure that there's nothing left. Who can I speak to and give such a warning, or bear witness, that they will listen? Look, their ear is uncircumcised. They are unresponsive to God. I mean, they hear it, but it goes in one ear and out the other, so they cannot pay attention. See, the word of the Lord has become contemptible to them. They find no pleasure in it because they don't want to stop doing what they're doing. And the thing is, like, a lot of times people get pleasure out of sin, myself included, depending on what the sin is. And so with not having to, or not being allowed to commit that sin, it makes you want to do it even more. But I am full of the Lord's wrath. I am tired of holding it back. Pour it out on the children in the street, on the gathering of young men as well, for both husband and wife will be captured, the old with the very old, or with fullness of days, so have many days. Their houses will be turned over to others, their fields and wives as well. For I will stretch out my hand against the inhabitants of the land. This is the Lord's declaration. For from the least, the poor, to the greatest, rich of them, everyone is making profit dishonestly. They're being fraudulent. From prophet to priest, everyone deals falsely. Now, prophets and priests are supposed to be the leaders, and they're supposed to be leading by example. But where are they leading them? To hell. They have treated my people's brokenness superficially, claiming peace, peace, when there is no peace, so giving them a false sense of hope. Were they ashamed when they acted so detestably? Nope. They weren't at all ashamed. They can no longer feel humiliation. Therefore, they will fall among the fallen. When I punish them, they will collapse, says the Lord. Disaster because of disobedience. This is what the Lord says. Stand by the roadways and look. Ask about the ancient paths, which is the way to what is good. Then take it and find rest for yourselves. So he was giving them something good, trying to help them. Like, this is what you need to do. Find the way that is good and go that way. But they protested. We won't. Just defiant. I appointed watchmen over you and said, listen for the sound of the ram's horn. But they protested. We won't listen. Again, defiance. Like, God is trying his hardest to get them to be obedient, but they refuse. They don't want to. Therefore, listen, you nations and you witnesses. Learn what the charge is against them. So he's telling everyone to listen and watch to see what's about to happen to them. Listen, earth, everybody. I'm about to bring disaster on these people, the fruit of their own plotting. So, the consequences of their actions. For they have paid no attention to my words, they have rejected my instruction. What use to me is frankincense with Sheba or sweet cane from a distant land? It's useless when when they sin constantly. It's an empty offering done in vain. Your burnt offerings are not acceptable. Your sacrifices do not please me, because they're doing it out of more so like a chore, out of obligation, and not because they want to with their whole heart. Therefore, this is what the Lord says. I am going to place stumbling blocks before these people. Fathers and sons together will stumble over them. Friends and neighbors will also perish. A cruel nation from the north. This is what the Lord says. Look, an army is coming from a northern land. So, the Babylonians. A great nation will be stirred up from the remote regions of the earth. They grasp bow and javelin. They are cruel and show no mercy. Their voice roars like the sea, and they ride on horses. So they're loud, they come on horses, they're lined up like men in battle formation against you, daughter Zion. So this is a nation that is very much so stronger than them. And 9 times out of 10, he's talking about the Babylonians, because they were a very lush, strong, just a big nation. We have heard about it, and our hands have become weak. Distress has seized us, pain like a woman in labor. Don't go out to the fields. Don't walk on the road, for the enemy has a sword. Terror is on every side, so stay in the house. My dear, or daughter of my people, dress yourselves in sackcloth, mourning, and roll in the dust. Mourn as you would for an only son, a bitter lament. For suddenly the destroyer will come on us. So be fast, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Jeremiah appointed as an examiner. I have appointed you to be an assayer among my people, so to examine, to come to a conclusion. So that's what examiner means, assayer. A refiner, a fortress. So you may know and examine their way of life, so the quality of their life. All are stubborn rebels, spreading slander. They are bronze and iron. All of them are corrupt. The bellows blow, blasting the lead with fire. Their refining is completely in vain. The evil ones are not separated out, so you can't tell the good from the evil. They're all blended together as if they're all doing the same thing. That's how they say just one can ruin a whole batch. That's what he's saying. They're called rejected silver. And y'all know silver wasn't really worth anything, for the Lord has rejected them. Now, last thing, the complete definition of assayer: examination and determination as to a characteristic such as weight, measure, or quality of something. But yeah, y'all, listen. These people, and I can't even say these people because we're like this today. We're no different. Things did not change. But you can change. Don't be like them.